Hello, everyone. It is a wonderful Christmas Eve here in Portland. It's raining, as it always does in Portland. And apparently, next week we're going to get down into the low single digits Fahrenheit. It's been a long time since I've been that cold, and it's been a very long time since Portland has been that cold. So it'll be interesting to see how the city freaks out. But hopefully, with, the week between Christmas and New Year's, everyone's off work, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. I don't have any plans to go anywhere, so I don't really care. But yeah. And I've got studded tires for my bicycle, so if and when it snows and or gets icy, I'll just get on my bike and ride around and have some fun on the car-free streets. Because the first day after we get a big snow here, it's like the whole city is closed. The only people out driving around are like bus drivers and service people and stuff like that. And there's like people out cross country skiing in the streets and sledding and a few crazy people on bikes. It's awesome. Oh, we've got all kinds of people here today. We've got Pete, Deshpoo, Xavier, Beck. Hello, everyone. And apparently a lurking magpie. Awesome. So, yeah, today, we're going to be building a bunch of Zaphods. So, if you're not familiar with the Zaphod is this wonderful device. This is my prototype board. Or prototype of the Zaphod. It's not my board. I want to say that up front. It's Pete Johansson from ZMK fame. It's his board, but he was nice enough to let me try out an early prototype. And as you can see, I've gotten a lot of use out of this thing. It's been all over the place with me. It's great. It's what the keyboard that got me down to 34 keys. Because I was like, well, I'm going to have to try this. And, yeah, I haven't looked back. It's been really nice. Excuse me. Sorry, I got like something. Anyways. So, Pete did a group buy recently for these, sold, I don't know, like 5,000 of them or something like that. And some people wanted theirs built for them. And, he offered that build service and asked if I would be the build person. So today you're going to watch me build some of these keyboards for people. I've got 4 like official ones, then one that's mine, and one that's for a person nearby who wasn't sure what switches he wanted, and so didn't want to commit to them. It's a little weird, but it's basically build service, but we're doing it on the side. It's not going to cost any different or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. So the Zaphod is, 34 key chalk keyboard, soldered, chalk spaced, all that good stuff. It's got this sharp memory display, which is a very low power display. It's not e-ink. It's much faster to update than e-ink, but it's very low power consumption. It also doesn't stay on when you turn the power off, so it's more like a traditional LCD, but it's very, very low power. So it's also a Bluetooth board. There's a little battery hidden behind the display here. I use a 120 milliamp hour battery. When I first was testing this, I tried to see how long I would go without charging it, and I got somewhere between 3 or 4 weeks. I lost track of when I started before I accidentally charged it, and iOS was telling me it had 80% battery left off of a 120 milliamp hour battery with a display, and it's on all the time. It's really solid battery life. So I don't remember what batteries Pete got for these. I think I want to say they're like 300 milliamp hours. Let's see. But either way, like, they're gonna last a long time on a single charge. It is indeed a memory display. Yeah, these are, 300 milliamp hours. So they're a little different than mine. Mine's a little flatter and bigger. But yeah, the newer version, or the production release version of the Zaphod, has this little hole here that goes behind the display for the battery, which is kind of cool. And then it's got a JST connector to plug it in. And I'm going to just switch that off for now. So I've got 6 to build. One of them is for me, so I was going to do it first, but I'm not 100% sure what parts are mine and what. I'm just going to build everybody else's first and do mine last. Because I'll just use the leftover parts. Because I think I forgot to order a display kit. Like, I don't see it on my invoice, and I don't know. I'm just gonna, because mine. Yeah. Anyways, there's some other stuff that I'm just kind of like, what? I'm sure it's just me like completely being confused, but gonna do mine last just so I don't accidentally put somebody else's parts on mine. Sorry, my throat is really dry. I had some pistachios really late last night, and those dry my throat out. But anyways, so this board, it's a standard Zaphod purple. There's a carbon fiber 3D printed black case. I think it's I don't know if it's actually made of carbon fiber, or if it's just like carbon fiber. It's like a faux carbon fiber look, maybe. But it is very lightweight and very thin. Oh yeah, maybe that is carbon fiber. Looks very similar to mine, but it feels very different. Oh good, it has the inserts already in it. Carbon fiber shreds embedded, okay. Yeah, because the texture looks the same on the back here, like it doesn't have that carbon fiber look. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I forget what case you ordered too. There's a little bit of flashing around this case. I'm gonna leave it because I don't want to damage it, but they'll probably want to take a deburring tool to the outside edge. Okay, just do a quick test fit here. Uh-oh. Oh no, this is up. Okay. I was like, uh-oh, it doesn't fit in there because the JST connector is too thick, but I had it flipped over. Yeah. Alright. Cool. So let's take a look at the pink bag here. Okay, this is case hardware and bump-ons, but not... Oh... No? Pete, you didn't change the display... spacers and stuff to use these metal, did you? Because I don't think these fit. Oh, they kind of do. But they're like They want to fall through. Uh-oh. Got 3D printed and acrylic. You know what? Wait a minute. If only there was a guide with a convenient QR code that I could scan. Okay. Overview. Okay, kit contents. This is what I was looking for. Alright, I'm going to put this stuff back into here. So I don't lose it. Alright, so I've got the battery. That's a display cover, but I think this one's mine. Whatever. Okay. Ah, okay, okay. That's where it makes sense that the parts for the display would go into the box that has the display in it. Okay. Headers, which I don't need. Oh, it does. I even saw that earlier. I meant to change it. Thank you, unregistered. You are a hoopy frood. I've been wanting to use that in something for this for days, so thank you for giving me an opportunity. The infamous box cutter. Okay. I really like this, how this display cover turned out with it looks, the texture makes it look kind of sparkly, and it is, I guess it is sparkly filament, but the texture makes it look even more sparkly. Let's see, can I get a good, I mean, it's not going to focus, but a hoopy frood. I think that's a positive thing, isn't it? Frood is a common slang word that means someone who is really amazingly together and is an intensified version of hoopy, according to the Hitchhiker's Wiki. So, I'm going to go with yes, it is a good thing. Okay. Alright, so I've got all the parts. So I've got the case kit, the display kit, the display itself, display kit here. If you did not purchase the display kit, installation. Okay. So it looks like it wants me to do the display first. Just to make sure I don't have it upside down from the intended. Okay, I don't. Oh, I'm gonna have to run upstairs and get my my bit set. This here so I don't break it. Okay, so pogo pins next. I want the springy part up, so that's that. And they go into the display pins holes and then get soldered. What's a dip set? Sorry, I just punched the mic with my soldering iron. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I have a feeling I was supposed to do that with the display on for alignment purposes. And if you're wondering, yes, that is very hot. Okay, that's better. Oh, come on. Come on. Let's try a different one. Maybe this nut is just bad. Try a different nut. I mean, it goes on if I flip it over, but then it doesn't look as nice. So that's obviously not the side that's meant to go up. Okay, let's try this away from the board so I can have a little more dexterity. Cross thread your way to victory. No, I'm not doing that one. Okay, let me just try it this way. And then we'll go all the way through it. Yeah, I feel like the plastic, because these are made out of plastic, the bottom has a little bit of flashing on it inside the hole. Yeah, that's what it was. Because there's probably little bits of plastic all over the place now. Okay. See, now it goes on reasonably well. Okay. I'm assuming these are injection molded, and this kind of small part, the tolerances are so incredibly tight that, like, it's really hard to manufacture them with much quality. And the amount of plastic it is, like, they probably use an insert rather than tapping it afterward. The threads. They probably just have a metal insert that goes in, and then the mold closes around it, plastic goes in, they pull it out, and then they unscrew the inserts. Versus having just a pin that holds it and then tapping it later. So, anyways, sorry, getting into the weeds with manufacturing details. But either way, this method seems to work. Whoops. All right. White balance is way off on this. Meh. Whatever. There we go. Okay. Cool. So that is sort of mounted. Did I have an extra thing? No. Okay. So we'll put that in an extras bag just in case. Alright. Before you saw the spring-loaded header attached to the display. Yup. Oh well, I got it. Should be able to plug in a USB cable and verify that the display is working. Appropriate purple USB cable. Sorry for the armpit view. Okay. And plug it in. We have a bongo cat. Now let's just test to see if bongo cat can bongo. Bongo cat can bongo. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to unplug this. Whoops, and I just typed a bunch of characters on my chat. Alright. The first one always takes forever. Okay, so the next step is acrylic case, which this doesn't have. Short or outer standoffs. 3D printed case. Okay. Batteries. Typing test. Okay, wait a minute. I think I missed something. At no point did this say... Or did I see it say... Solder the switches. Okay. The Zaphod display should be installed first before any switch or case assembly. Yeah, there's Pete, just FYI, there's a I don't see anywhere that it says now go ahead and install the switches. But that's fine because I can extrapolate from incomplete information. Exactly. As far as I understand it, MK Ultra will be stocking the Zaphod going forward. So there might be some extras from Pete. There might be some MK Ultra. But your best bet is to ask that in the Zaphod channel on the Low Pro Keyboards Discord. Because Pete was in here for a little bit. But he said he might not be able to stay the whole time or whatever because he's got some family thing to do. I don't understand it. Like kids or something, Christmas, I don't. He just doesn't want to watch me solder his keyboards. It's fine. I love these footprints for the chalk switches because they hold on to the keys or the switches, so they don't all fall out when I flip it over. It's wonderful. So speaking of Christmas, anyone have any fun Christmas plans? I know a lot of things got canceled because of Omicron, but you know, you gonna watch some movies, or are you gonna... What are you doing? I have never seen the Die Hard movies, so I bought all of them on iTunes the other day, and now I'm making my way through them. I've only watched one so far, but it was good. I enjoyed it. It was a very Bruce Willis movie. Tacos. Christmas tacos. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna watch Big Lebowski at some point too. I don't know why, but suddenly Big Lebowski is a Christmas movie. Like, there's a theater around here that shows it on Christmas or Christmas Eve. When I first moved up here, a friend of mine is like, we should watch Big Lebowski for Christmas. And I'm like, okay. I love the movie, don't get me wrong. It's just like, Christmas Lebowski? It's just an interesting choice. Yeah, I tried to convince my dad about the hell was the movie I was just talking about. My brain is not working today. Die Hard. Okay, so I'm just gonna double, triple check here. This is 3D printed case, so there's no plate, no switch plate. I can totally put the battery on after the case, because you just pop the display off and put the battery on. Yeah, okay. Just make sure I do things in the right order. Oh, wait. Before I put the case on, I should solder the switches on. Okay. Here's the fun part. Actually, you know what? I want to take the display off. I am not comfortable having this flipped over like this. Nah, it won't be hard because you just take the screen off. The screen is using pogo pins, so it's not soldered on, so you just have to unscrew these nuts. And then pop them off. Oh, and I unscrewed the whole thing. Okay, I am gonna go get my bit set. I'll be right back. display off here. You get soldering switches. Looks like either the like the line broke partway through, or they switched reels or something like that. But there's like two cut off ends here. They twisted together. All right. So that is that. I'm going to put the display back on. Well, that didn't work how I was hoping it would. Nope. Come on, get on there. He keeps wanting to cross thread. Oh, come on. Yes, I agree with both of those things. They look nice, but damn. I will say, this has been the hardest part of this build so far, is getting these fucking nuts. Hey, well, nope. Premature celebration. I'm gonna try something real quick. So the problem with just sticking the nut in here and then slamming it on there is it's too deep. It just sits on top. However, if I stuff some blue tape in there, maybe. This would actually be a really great use for blue tack, but I don't have any of that, so. or Play-Doh or anything that can be like molded into shape. Hey, would you look at that? That worked. Pro tip. Blue tape is your friend. And I shouldn't put this fully back on here yet. Now that I think of it. Now that I just spent all that time putting the nuts in. Because I need to put the battery in too. Alright, before I do that, let me test this. That it all fully works. Okay. Yep. All right. All the switches work. Everything works. The display works. Bongo Cat bongos. I managed to... Okay, I managed to not kill the stream, and I accidentally hid the... Okay. I was just mashing buttons there for a second, and all of a sudden display, or Windows started disappearing off of my screen, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Did I just hit Command Q a bunch of times? Okay, unplug this. Come on. All right. Man, this music has a very explosions in the sky kind of vibe. And I am into it. Okay. Let's put the case here. Battery in. Stick it in there. See if it fits nicely in there in that little spot. And it even powers on while it's unplugged. Beautiful. Okay, I am going to leave the little display sticky cover thing on there. Because it's trivial to remove. Like, I think you can just get in there with a fingernail. And then it'll help protect it in transit. Okay. So then, bust out this stuff, and I'm already losing parts on the floor. That's fine. There it is. No, that's not the right screw. Okay. I was going to say, it really doesn't seem like the right screw for that. And it's not. So I wonder... have more bags of parts. No, that's an extra nut, which I actually wanted to go in here. Okay. No, that's my display cover, and I think this is my battery. Yep. Oh. Oh, never mind. I thought this was already swollen. I was like, wow. I just got it, and that pillow is already spicy. Okay, so I do have another loose bag of things. Some of the stuff fell out of the boxes in the big box. So that's why I'm a little... That's why things are a little unorganized, because I think some of these small things kind of got loose. Because this was just kind of out. And I don't know why. Okay, well, I don't have the screws for this in front of me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it with its owner. Because this is done other than assembling the case, so I just need those case screws. So I need to find those. But I will move on to another board first. Okay. Okay, so here is another one with silvers, I believe. Yes. Huh. I believe, possibly, I have my first two spammers. Oh, this is cool. So I said I have my first two spammers. So Rodney posted something unintelligible. And earlier, Dennison Kurturk did as well. And I suspect those are not real people. So yeah. All right, well. Anyways. I may have to hire moderators sooner than I thought I would. Okay, so this is the... Oh, this is nice. Sparkly acrylic case here. Okay, Galaxy Black it's called. And a black PCB. Display kit, battery. And chalk silvers. Okay. That black with the black acrylic is pretty nice. Look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. Okay. Let me look in here. This should have acrylic case parts. It does. Should be a battery. Well, it'll look a little less busy once it has switches and caps on it, because you won't be able to see a lot of the plate. Okay. Cool. And display kit has sparkly black display cover. And the display and the display kit itself. Okie doke. Let's put this thing together. So, display first. Let me take the fragile stuff out of the way here. And I gotta remember that that has a plate, so I can't just slap the switches in and go, because the plate has to go on first. Oops. Okay. I wish I had kept my blue display PCB, because I would use that. Because you just need the PCB to do the alignment, you don't need the actual display. I would use that display PCB to do the alignment, so then I could flip it over, do the soldering on all that stuff, and not worry about damaging the display. But I do not have it. I threw it out. Oh well. C'est la vie. I'm going to leave the display cover off for a second. Okay, I'm going to put these on upside down for the moment, because I need to screw them into something anyways. Oh. I was like, why isn't that screwing down any further? Because it reached the extent it could due to the blue tape. So I just had to push down a little bit so it'd squish in there. All right. Flip this over carefully. Solder the pogo pins. Pop the display off and we'll stick it off to the side. All right, now phone. Acrylic case. And now that I think of it, let me just see maybe the switches, the instructions to assemble the switches, maybe they're in the case page. Ah, okay, yep. Assemble the PCB. Right there. Never mind. Okay. So bust out the acrylic pieces here. Remove protective sheets. Board is not hot swappable. Nope. Okay. I wish these were compatible or more compatible. Okay, so I'm going to remove all the protective sheets. Need different pair of tweezers because those the tips don't come together completely. Old, beat up tweezers. They're not even that old, but they're definitely beat up. Nah, well, Milmaxes. Well, I will say I don't think Milmaxes would work because unless you had like an actual plate, like a carbon fiber or FR4 or something like that, because the acrylic is too thick. So they'll just switches just pop right out. Because MX switches pop right out of 3mm acrylic. Chalks that don't even bother. I wouldn't. Bias note: I don't like Milmax sockets, so take this all with a grain of salt. But you would need a proper plate at the very least. But I don't think the holes are big enough, anyways. If you remind me later, I will grab a couple and try to push them into the board to see if they work, but I doubt they fit. Yeah, I always try to steer people away from using Milmax switch sockets. I think they just don't work very well. They can, you know, if you've got a switch plate that where your switches actually snap into it, they can work fine because they're just providing the electrical connection at that point. But if they are what's providing the mechanical connection, it's not going to work. You're going to have a bad time. .jpg. Alright, just so these don't get scratched up while they're sitting here. Yeah, Kale sockets are amazing. They have their downsides. I mean, you know, they can get loose over a lot of insertions. And they are technically surface mount, so if you push on them from the top in the right way, they can lift the pad right off the bottom, and I've had that happen before. I've done that once. That's nothing a bodge wire can't fix, and exactly what I did. I just put a bodge wire and fixed the problem. It wasn't a big deal. Because there's definitely enough, like, material. Like, if you lifted both pads and it was completely pulled off of the board, you could still put it, you could still salvage it because you can super glue the socket back to the board and then bodge wire the wires, you know, like it's fixable. And that's really rare. Or I should say really not common. It's not rare in that like only 5 people have ever done it. I mean, I did it on the first chalk hot swap board I ever made, but yeah, anyways. That's just like my opinion, man. Oh, well, if you need hot swaps, well, so for that Zaphod build, that's hot swap only. You can't you can't solder switches into that unless you solder them into the sockets. So you would need those either way. But if you're in a big hurry to get that done, I have tons of hot swap sockets. I'd be happy to sell or loan or, you know, whatever. Okay, so next step. So we've got all the bits off. Okay, come on. Switches and switch plates. So install the switches with the left and right switch plates. Switch plates are designed to sit exactly flush with top surface of the PCB. Pre-soldered switch diodes are concealed within the LED slot. Okay. So grab a switch plate. I mean, my first keyboard build was the was my Pinky 3, and I forgot everything. I had like multiple orders coming in for days over the course of a week before I had all the parts I needed. Whoops. Well, I hope there are some extras, because I might have broken this one. It's fine, because once it goes in and gets soldered, you can't open these up because the little tabs are inside the acrylic, but still, I gotta be careful. Okay. Well, there's a switch on the floor. Those are a lot easier to find. And I'm probably going to have to, because I think I only have 70 of these, which means I only have 2 extras. And I don't know if I have any left in my personal stash. So I got to be careful. Yeah, it's just hard to put those tabs in the right place. What's making this not, or what's not helping anything is the fact that I have these crappy white gloves on. Oh my god. Hate. I'm trying to keep fingerprints off of the plate. I put one switch in and get it snapped into place, and 2 others pop out. I really hope y'all are laughing about this, because this is some entertainment, I'm sure. Man struggles to assemble Lego set. God damn it. See, and this is why I said not to use Milmax sockets, because this would be your life if you had Milmax sockets. Because the Milmax sockets don't hold on to the switches mechanically for shit. Okay. Remember when I said the first one always takes the longest? I didn't mean the first one in general. I meant the first one of like each combination of things. Well, that won't be hard, because what I do for that is, assuming these switches stay in the plate well enough that I can flip it over and lay it on its back, what I'll do... Oh, come on. Damn it. Okay, so that tab is just fucked. Come on. Come on. There. Okay. So what I'm gonna do... Alright. I'm gonna leave that one out for now. I should have just done what I normally do. Do the 4 corners and then the rest of them. See these fucking tabs, man. Oh, this is comical. Okay. Yes, keycaps are extremely important to the feel of a board. Even materials and like the weight of the cap itself is important. Like I have some cat cyberspace caps, and they're kind of lightweight. They're not very thick or heavy or something, and they feel very similar in profile, I want to say, to MT3s, but MT3s feel so much better. Okay. Well, so what I was going to do is flip this whole thing over and push the whole thing down, but I think I'm going to do it this way from the top, because these switches go nicely into their footprint. So they'll stay in place. Okay. And because I'm not worried about like the vertical spacing of the plate above the PCB, because the plate goes right against the PCB, I can just kind of smash this all together and then solder it to hold it in place. Oh, this is so much better. Why didn't I just do this from the beginning? Jesus. Okay. Well, lesson learned. Yeah, there are lots of different factors that go into how a keyboard feels. Like if you've ever used a Cornelius versus just a straight up Corn, night and day different. Well, I don't want to say night and day. Apples and oranges. They're very, very, very different keyboards. In so many ways. And the Cornelius just... It's just beautiful. I only wish it had, or it used a ZMK. Not for wireless even. Like, it'd be nice if it was wireless, but it doesn't need to be. But because it will probably be the thing that keeps me maintaining a QMK repo in the future. Because of all the boards that I've built, it's the one I can't swap to a ZMK controller. And it's the one I'm most likely to use in the future too. So, but I have seen some people are starting to come out with their own PCBs for the Cornelius. So it's possible that I might just commission one of those folks to make one that's based on a Holy IoT or something like that. Or try to do it myself. Because really what you're buying there is the case. Like, the PCB is great and everything, but that's just a way to connect the switches up. Okay, before I solder too much more of this, sanity check everything here. Whoops. Yeah, fun story about the hard way first. When I was taking calculus in college, we did that. We did the hard way first on a I don't remember what it was. This was 20 years ago. On a certain like method of solving a integral or something like that. And then they taught us the shortcut method, and I'm like, oh, that is so much easier. But I'm glad I know the hard way because it helps me understand why the short way works. It wasn't that the hard way was bad. It was still applicable for a lot of cases, but the short way was just like basically trivialized the whole thing. It was awesome. I really enjoyed that class. That was one of the classes that I took the final on and did well on. Even not having gone to the class most of the semester, because I was basically teaching myself what I needed to know on the test while I was taking the final, because it's so, also, pun intended, derivative, that it was easy to follow the logic from one to the next to the next. I did eventually run out, and also trigonometric identities. That shit's all just straight up memorization, and I didn't memorize any of it. So I didn't do well on that part, but I did great on everything else. Despite having gone to the class like 5 times the whole semester. See, vector calculus is the best. I took, well, so we had in high school, I took a physics class, and it was vector physics or something like that. It was just like two-dimensional. But then I learned how to do calculus-based physics in college, so almost the same stuff, just different approach to how you think about it. And it made so much more sense and blew my mind. I mean, it's not that this physics I took in high school didn't make sense, but it was just like that much better in my college physics. I really enjoyed calculus a lot. I thought it was a very fun, cool subject. Like learning how to calculate pi. Just kind of blew my mind. I don't think we actually did it, but like I could see how you could go, oh, it's just an integral over the area of this thing, and then that gives you the area, and then, oh my god, okay. Okay. So much better. So just a little programming note. I am probably going to stop after I finish this board for the day. So I really want to get to the gym. And my gym closes at 4 today. And it'll be probably 2 o'clock when I finish. So, yeah. And then I'll finish the rest of these up on Sunday. Oh, you blah. Tomorrow, if I stream, which is not a guarantee, but if I stream, it is probably going to be not my normal time, because I'm going to a friend's house for brunch, and we're probably going to end up making cookies and maybe watching a movie, or I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be like a thing. So it'll probably be like late in the afternoon or something like that. And I'll probably either stream ZMK stuff. Well, I was thinking about streaming getting the KB2040 to work with, or trying to get the KB2040 to work with ZMK. Because Pete gave me a fork of ZMK that's based on a fork of whatever. It's like a fork of a couple, some combination of Zephyr, ZMK, etc. that like runs on the KB2040, and it does. But it didn't work on mine. Like, it ran. It was obviously running the firmware that I had installed on it, but none of the keys worked. But he followed up and gave me another one last night that does work. So my Osprey with the 2040 actually types with ZMK, which is awesome. So what I would probably end up doing is like trying to like just like look at what he had done and try to fix my key map, or I don't know, something. Do something with it, and also maybe breadboard a keyboard together or something, because I bought 5 more of those controllers and those arrived a couple days ago. But the other thing I can do is go back and start working on my Advent of Code stuff again, because I stopped at like day 4 because I ran into issues and I just was like, you know what, and every time I've gone back to try to work on it again since then, something else has come up. Like, I take my iPad and my keyboard to a coffee shop, and for some reason my Mac Mini was not reachable via SSH, and so I couldn't SSH into my computer to work on things, and I got frustrated, and yeah, just a bunch of stuff. So this wasn't quite flush with the board. So I'm going to try to melt that and push it in a little further. Okay. There is not a 3x6 version of this, no. However, there are... So what you might want to look into is like the Reviung 41 LP, which I believe just started being sold by MK Ultra. It's a Chox-based Reviung 41. So it's got an extra column of switches on each hand, and it has a center thumb key is the main differences. And if you'll give me a moment, as soon as I finish soldering these switches on, I will grab mine, and you can see what it looks like. That's probably the most similar that I can think of in like a 3x6 kind of form factor. Yeah, I'm a big unibody fan. It's so much easier. My daily driver right now is a Reviung 34. And I love it, but I want to do a couple things I want to make a new one that's a little different in a couple of ways. It needs a power switch and battery pads for one. For 2, I would like to spread the hands apart just a bit so I can get a circ trackpad in the middle. And then I want to make a hot swap as well. Okay. So that's that one. Well, this isn't the LP, but that's the Revion 41 Chalk V2. And here's the LP. So as you can see, it's similar in size. It's a little more tightly compressed because this doesn't have as much room. Or, you know, there's no display in the middle here. But yeah. And these are Shalgot Yeet caps. Something like that. I don't know if he officially ever named them, but they were kind of his first set of 3D printed case or caps. That one. Yep. Good catch. See, this is why I love having y'all around while I'm building keyboards. Because you catch my mistakes. Most of the time. Yeah, there is definitely a bit more of an angle between the halves on the Zaphod. Okay. Great. So next up, install the switches and the switch plates. Install switches in the 4 corner locations. It even says to use the 4 corners. Insert the remainder of the switches, flip the keyboard over and solder the 2 legs of every switch. Repeat for the other side. Short outer standoffs. With the switches soldered, you can now install the shorter 4mm standoffs on the switch plate in the mounting holes on the 4 outer corners of the keyboard. Okay, and this is going to be a lot easier with one hand free. So I just have to be careful to avoid touching the plate as much as I can. Okay, it says determine if I need the 4 or 6mm standoffs or screws. Yeah. And I think I think I'm gonna go with the 6. Or no, wait. No, I think I'm gonna go with the 4 because let's see. Okay, I'm not 100% clear on what Pete's getting on about here. But we're gonna try. Oh, I see. Because the screw is sticking through the acrylic, and this is up against the acrylic. Okay, that makes sense now. I see. I see what Pete's on about. So that is not very much room. It's hard to see for activities, so I'm going to go with the longer ones. That'll also give me a little more to grab a hold of on this side. Okay. Yeah, I always miss at least one switch as well. Usually it's like an entire row or something. Which is fine if it's my board, because then I just, you know, take it apart and fix it. But when it's someone else's board and I've shipped it to them, that's when you got to be careful. Now, before I do much else, what I want to do is put the display on and the cover. This is really nice looking with this Galaxy Black case. All right. Let's plug it in and test it. So we got bongoing Bongo Cat. We've got for some reason a whole lot of switches being held down. Okay, let's try this again. All right, that works. And bongo bongos. And we have to take the display off one more time to put the battery in. At the very least. Put this up here to keep it safe. All inner standoffs, put aside the top portion and pick up the acrylic back plate and the 8mm standoffs. So here's the acrylic back plate. It looks to be the same on both sides. We're going to put in the longer screws again. Thanks for stopping by, Unregistered. Have a good one. Okay. Attach the longer to the bottom plate, install the battery in the display, attach the bottom plate. Battery where? That's not the battery. This is the battery. Got another one. See, what I don't understand is what they are attempting to even do. What's this vum.ngo thing? Like, I mean, I guess maybe they're trying to establish the legitimacy of the account by like, oh, we've posted on a bunch of streams and not been banned. But they could do so much easier, or so much less obvious. I don't know. I will never understand spammers. Oh. I was like, wait, why did the display just turn on? Because the keyboard is on, because I put the battery in, and the power switch is on. Oops. Okay. Having that blue tape in there also means I can just pick them up right off the table because they stick to the tape. Nice. Turn it back on, display, perfect. So now I can see where this is going next. Attach the bottom plate. So we want to flip this over. And then screws here. This one actually needs the shorter screws because it's reaching all the way through the standoff and grabbing a hold of the other screw, which is not what we want. And actually, I think we might want to change this one too. Interesting. Nope, we want this one to be longer. All right. Okay. Now we flip this back over, and I'm pretty sure the next step is this goes on top. Oh no. There's a little bit of schmutz or something. Let me see if I can clean that up. Okay, that helps. Wait, did I take the protective coating off of this? Pretty sure I did. But it kind of looks like it's still on there. Well, I'm going to err on the side of I took it off. And if it turns out that I didn't, that's actually pretty easy to get off of here. And I'll buy the person a coffee or something. There's just like a little bit of something on these corner bits. Residue or damage or something, but I can put that down and you'll never see it. And it's not very much anyways, but it's one of those things that's like, man, if I paid a bunch of money for this and this is how it came, I'd be kind of like, well, okay, but But putting it face down, it's like, oh yeah, you just put the, you know, imperfections on the inside and nobody ever sees it. It's totally fine. This person is gonna want to take some black Sharpie to the edges here around the screen, or some black fingernail polish or something, because that blue sticks out like a sore thumb in an otherwise like perfect galactic beautiful universe. I mean, even the silvers of this, they just this is a beautiful board. Look at that. That's just gorgeous. Where does it say to put the bump-ons? One on each corner. Place one horizontally centered along the top and bottom edge of the case. Okay. All right. So that is this Zaphod. Fully complete. Oh, and the charging light shows up through there. Just barely, but enough. It kind of adds a little, almost like background glow. And we'll just go ahead and just check again. Yep. Fully functional. There we go. Fully completed Zaphod for order number 1017. Alright, and then, so what I'm going to do is put these extra things back in case they change something about the case, or I don't know. They paid for the parts. They get to keep them. Bump-ons in there. Little tiny dab of blue tape to hold it all in place. Couple of stickers. Whoops. There. Boom. Turn that off so it's not doing bad stuff in transit. And then put it in its box. Will it go back into this wrapper, I wonder? There we go. All right. Well, yeah, gym closes at 4, probably about an hour workout. So I'm gonna call it for today. Was hoping I would get at least 3 done today, but you know, takes a little bit to get that first one done. And I don't know, excuses. So yeah, so tomorrow may or may not stream, but it won't be at normal time. That's almost certainly, or almost a certainty. Sunday, noon to 3, or noon till whenever I finish them, basically. Because I'll marathon that. Sunday I'll build the rest of these, including mine, and yeah, if I stream tomorrow, it'll be maybe a little bit of messing around with ZMK, followed by a lot of, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with Rust. Please help. Please send help. But working on the Advent of Code stuff. And if you'd like to join along on the Advent of Code stuff, the website is adventofcode.org. Wake up. Or .com rather. And it's like a fun, there's some competition if you really want to, but I'm so far behind that I won't be on any leaderboards. I mean, some people will like wait until the next challenge goes and then spend 10 minutes doing it or something like that and then be done. Because they probably did it in Lisp or Clojure or something that makes all the stuff like trivial. But Advent of Code is like an advent calendar for code. So there's a new programming challenge every day. There's like a fun little Christmas story going along with it. This year it is apparently a submarine based. So I actually have an Advent of Code mug. This is not it. And an Advent of Code sticker. So if I stream tomorrow, I will have the Advent of Code mug. But yeah, I'm working on the challenges in Rust this year. I really have no idea what I'm doing with Rust, so that part alone is a huge challenge. So it's probably not going to be the most compelling because you're going to be like, oh my god, Kitchen, you're just seeing me fighting with compiler errors and stuff a lot, but it's fine. Like, that's part of the challenge for me. So yeah. Anyways, that's it for today. I'm gonna go pump some iron, trying to wash my figure, and hope you all have a Merry Christmas and stay safe and all that good stuff. And I'll see you tomorrow and or Sunday or next week or whenever. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out.